Demet, welcome to People in Legal.
Nice to meet you, David.
Yeah, how's the show been?
It's been great. It's been enlightening. It's always very busy here, and it's good to see everyone.
It is. It's been, quite busy, and lots of new technology I've sort of seen around this year as well. Some new people in the marketplace.
Yes, it's been really good to see the Startup Alley. Been having a chat with the newbies around and getting to know their products, and also it's nice to sort of be in a position where I can help direct their products from an outsider's point of view now.
Brilliant. And you've got quite a background in legal technology. I mean, we were just talking before, and we know some people in common. Do you want to introduce yourself to our audience and tell them about your experience, Demi?
Yeah, of course. So I landed in the legal landscape about 16 years ago. I never expected to be in either legal or technology. My background's in health. And the story of how I ended up in it is I had a temporary receptionist job, and I ended up at the wrong reception one day, and they hired me into a legal services business.
Really?
Yeah.
Incredible.
Yeah. And from there, I got my first BA gig. They were implementing their first case management system. And I sort of fell in love with the industry and never really got out.
How do you think it's changed?
Look, I mean, it's changed incredibly over the past decade and a half, right? I mean, some of the names that were common in these circuits are no longer here. When I first started, it was all about practice management, all about the accounting side of things. It then, merged into big data sort of towards the end of 2010s. Then AI became a thing while we were in lockdown in COVID. And, it started off with generative AI, and now everything is agentic AI. And what can agentic AI do for us? But what I actually enjoyed about this year was the impact of AI on the human brain. There's a lot of chatter about our dependence on AI and how we can maybe wean ourselves off that before it becomes a problem, like social media did.
Yeah, that is interesting. I mean, there's some studies either side that sort of say that I guess that the human brain, we've been made a bit less intelligent. So less intelligent by actually using AI, relying on it and things like that. I mean,
absolutely. Look, I've always seen a technology like AI to be an assistive technology, not to be something that you can rely on, not for something to make the decision for. You can't take the human element out of a practice like law. You're getting paid to think. That's your job as a lawyer. And you use AI to enhance that rather than replace it.
From an AI standpoint, how do you think AI is actually affecting the lawyers coming through now? What's it mean for those guys?
Oh, look, that's quite interesting. I've got children myself, and they're not in high school yet or university, but I can see the impact on the students and their inability to sort of make that cognitive jump to make a decision for themselves or to easily problem solve. And I'm fearful for the profession going forward, that's the trap that the university students are going to fall into as well. But there was a really good session, a breakfast session today presented by 𝗁 Technology. And their products, one of their product managers is actually, he was a training lawyer when he got into legal technology, and he was just at that cusp of technological advancements and AI coming into practice. And he articulated really well what his experience was. What I just said as well, to be able to use the AI tools as assistive technologies rather than the tool to make the decision for. I mean, it's a cultural link.
It is, and I think it actually it starts in it starts in the schools and universities and the law colleges, and I think that, but also as well, I guess there's a ongoing process as well where people are learning, and there's guardrails around that.
It's very new, and we're lacking policy and regulation around it quite significantly. And I know this from my own children's school, where they've run into issues with Gen AI and deep faking. We're talking about 12, 13, 14-year-olds. And we don't really have the guardrails, as you said, to necessarily deal with that at a young enough age that we make this a habit going forward. It's kind of free for all at the moment, really.
And from point of view of, like, I guess part of your role at the moment is so you've got legal operations and transformation, your current role at Law Partners. I mean, how do you see AI playing a role in all of that?
Oh, look, we're already using AI tools in practice at our firm. The uptake of it is up and down, depends on the practitioner, and depends on the age, and depends on how old school they are in their culture, and how much they want to embrace it. But there's definitely appetite for it with the new generation coming in. So I think we're going to see our practice transform quite significantly.
How are the clients? I mean, how are the clients actually reacting to it all? They sort of, are their expectations higher? What's happening there?
Necessarily, because we're dealing with individuals.
Yep.
You know, personal injury law is very, very personal. I don't find our clients having higher expectations of us necessarily, but there are certainly court rules that are changing. For example, chronologies, etc. Yes, you can use AI tools to assist you in making them, but you can't submit a AI-generated chronology in New South Wales.
And I guess I think there's disclosure requirements in terms of the people using AI in terms of the work they're doing as well.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. So it's probably more scrutinized by the other side rather than our clients directly.
And based on the conference and all discussions and what you sort of see out there so far, where's it all going?
Look, I think we're sort of having a bit of an aha moment at the moment, right? For the last 4 or 5 years, we had this massive hype about generative and agentic AI and all the possibilities. But what I've seen, as I said, this year is that turning point of, but what is this doing to our brains? What is this doing to us as culture? And what is this doing to our practice? And how is it going to impact us in the future? So it's been really good to see that the vendors are trying to bring the humans back into the process.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's interesting. I had a discussion the other day about, you know, from the human side of things and point of view of conferences, a lot more emphasis on conferences these days, that sort of stuff, and learning and different in-person events. So the whole in-person event side of things seems to be a real focus these days because, I mean, there's a lot of AI stuff can be pushed out and marketing and that kind of stuff. And people just want the in-person authentic experience.
Yeah, look, I mean, I sat on the vendor side of these things for quite some time as well. And these events, I don't see them as selling events. These are relationship building events. This is a way for us to bring the community together. The legal tech community in Australia is very intimate. Everyone knows one another. Everyone's worked for one another, worked for each other, had some sort of vendor relationship at some point in time. I don't come here to be sold to. I do want to see what's out there, but I'm not here to sign paper on any technology.
No, it's a great educational sort of thing. I love the serendipity of these things. You're sitting in a coffee line or you're actually having lunch at a table. It might be somebody you haven't met before.
Yeah.
And there's just that striking up of conversation and things that are going as well.
The thing that I particularly like about this event, though, you know, the keynotes are not legal technology communities. They are professors, they are academics, they are authors, and it's so good to bring that external perspective into what we do.
I agree. Thank you so much for your thoughts and your time on People
David.
Today. Thank you.
Thanks.